Welcome back to another episode of Look What Just Found. This is episode 391. And off to the side of my desk is a total mess. Every once in a while I give a quick peek of my mess. And to the right here I keep my pennies for my video upcoming scheduled videos. And this one was sticking out in the corner there. And for some reason, the top can't close. I think this is the one that was in the bag of the penny bag, and it spilled out. So for some reason, it intrigued me, and I guess I kind of like to get it away from the pile. So let's see. Oh, it came out nice and smooth. Okay, that's good. That's always a good sign. We got a couple here that did not. All right, and the first thing I notice is that we do have copper. So most likely, this is not a cherry picked roll. That looks like copper. Not much. Might only be about 5 coppers in here if we're lucky. All right. Anyway, is what it is. What it is. What it is. What it is. What are you gonna do? I did measure it, and I did measure the roll, and it did line up with the 50. Huh. Okay, those are just zinc ballistas. It did line up with the sample roll that I use. All right, a little too close for comfort. All right, not bad. So if you've been keeping up with the channel, if you're watching the episodes as they are being scheduled, as they are being uploaded, then you can follow the story, and that becomes, if you're just tuning in, you might want to go back a month and watch the videos as I go along, because that will help you out a little bit understanding what's going on inside my brain. So a few episodes ago, I said that I wanted to put up some do a short day, meaning on one day I would just do short videos, because for whatever reason the short videos get the most attention. I guess it's just the way life is. People with cell phones and whatnot. So I said, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to do an only short day. And for whatever reason, it ended up being 48 videos. This might be our first copper. Yeah, it ended up being 48 videos instead of 51, because I made one of the videos I made into like a little bit longer as an explanation to what I was doing for the day, because it was the first time. So I made one long video and 47 shorts, which of course it should have been 50 shorts and one long, but I probably hit pause instead of stop for 3 of the videos. So there would be 3 shorts that had 2 pennies in them, or 3 whatever the case may be. But the point is that I got confused, and it wasn't as easy as I thought it would. I was hoping it would be. And then when I did the uploading of 47 when I uploaded 48 videos, whoa, I did them one by one, and it was murder. And then I remembered, and I talked about this in the previous episode, I remembered that one time by accident, like when you move things around on your desktop, you might grab the whole group of items. So I had grabbed all the videos before to move them around, and then I didn't unclick the group of videos. So when I went to upload one video to YouTube, I accidentally moved over multiple videos. So and then I noticed it went dot 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 dot. It transferred all the videos, and I was like, oh, I didn't, for 5 or 6 videos, I like to have them. I anyway, I never did it that way, so I ended up canceling it. But I remembered. Look at this. See how much like copper the 83 reverses look, and then you turn it around, you got an 83. It's misaligned pretty good too from top to bottom. That looks a little bit like a die clash by his tie. How about the reverse? We got any die clashy stuff going on? So I said to myself that the next time I was going to do during the next episode, which was yesterday's episode, I said I'm gonna do, when I do my shorts. Under his chin looks a little squarish too. I said I'm gonna try, because every day I do shorts, right? I do shorts for every video gets, every long factor video gets shorts. I haven't found any yet for this episode because there really hasn't been anything interesting, and that's part of the problem, right? Or the part of the process is that as I'm learning about errors, and I'm decidingly seeing that less and less of the coins that I'm finding are valuable or have, like, for example, this coin has um, a very slight ridge ring, right? You see it right here, and you see it goes around, round, round. It goes through the top of the motto and stops right about the Liberty. So it goes to Liberty, and it's just an observation. But when I first learned about ridge ring, I was like, oh, ridge. I was like, when you learn, I'm assuming that this goes for everybody. When you learn about something new, you get excited about it, and you'll be like, oh, and you'll put them all to, but they're worthless, and you can't keep putting away. And another example is, look at the top of the T and the E. See, there's some machine doubling there as a result of the whatever, the hub moving, the die being misaligned, and it broke it broke the clad, right? And I was like, oh, look at that broken clad, but it's worthless. It has to be really exotic, like for a machine doubling error. It has to be very exotic for it to have any value of like $2 or $3 or $5 or $10. So none of these that we're looking at are exotic or unique or valuable. See, even the O. See, the O has some machine doubling on it. You can see the extra on the bottom. It's worthless. So now that I've learned quite a bit about errors, by doing this for so long. See, the left side has no rim there. See, it's misaligned. It's missing the rim on the left side. But that's not valuable though. But if you've never noticed that before, you might get excited when you realize, oh wow, this is a misaligned die. But it's worthless. But it's just part of the process. You have to learn about these errors, but 99% of them are worthless. But that means one out of every, if 99% are worthless, that means 1 out of 100 is worth something. And 1 out of 100 is 1 out of every 2 rolls. So if you can find a valuable penny out of every $1 in rolls, you're doing awesome. That's great. But for the other 99 pennies, you have to have patience, and you still have to do your job and and um and scrutinize each single coin. But I'm putting less and less coins to the side for short videos, and the short videos, people love the damn short videos. It was another, so I said, "Oh, I'm gonna do a whole penny roll of just short videos." And and I didn't real anyway. So yesterday, so the first time was 48 videos, and it took hours and hours and hours for me to upload and put titles. Oh, it was crazy, man. It was bananas. Oh, I don't know. Wow, 2010D. Hardly ever see that one. Wonder what the mintage is on the 2010D. Let me open up my mintage page. I keep it right here, so I just have to click it, so it doesn't take too long for me to get to it. Then I go to 2010. Oh, there's actually more Denvers than there are Philadelphia's. There's almost 2.5 billion. Um, 2010 Denver's almost 2.5 billion. The Philadelphia's note mint mark is less than 2 billion. And then if you find the proof only is 1.6, 1.7 million. So that's a lot. That's a lot of proofs, man. They made a lot of proofs. 1.6 million proofs is a lot of proofs. Some proofs are in the thousands. Right. Let me go to some of the under a million. I'm saying some of the other proofs. Yeah, here, yeah, the 42 proof. There's 32,000, and even that one, I think I did a whole I dedicated a small part of a video to looking at the looking up the prices of those low mintaged proofs graded, and they were like, I don't know, 30, $40, which to me, I thought that was super, super cheap. So I looked this up. I'm not going to put this to the side. I mean, I could put it to the side and say, oh, this is the mintage of the penny. I guess I'll do it since we put a little time into it. But, that's just for content. You know what I mean? It's just for content. Um, because people love the short videos. Yeah, I always get a whistle. I have a little space between my bottom teeth. I guess it gives me a little bit of a whistle sometimes. Um, the rim has two tones. If you find them and if it's a strong, see, these are the types of things to notice, right? Because if the two tones would be strong, because of its uniqueness, somebody might pay $5 for it. But see, this is weak. I mean, it's cool to notice, like, wow, look at that. The two, I mean, it's almost imperceptible, I know I just said that word wrong, but it's difficult to perceive because the difference is so weak. But those are the types of things you got to notice, because if one day you find one that's really strong, it's gonna have some good. It'll be worth something, $5. You know, and, you put together enough $5 pennies, and you made yourself 40, $50, which of course in the scope of things isn't much. But how about if you put together 1,000 of them? Now you got $5 grand. So a thousand pennies would be um 20 20 20 tubes of 50 error pennies. So that's a lot. 20 full tubes, which each penny has an error on it, would be a lot of pennies. So anyway, back to the whole story about the see the tilt will make some will change how the image looks, because the tilt is next to the image. Same thing like we were talking about with the ridge ring. See how it splits the clad above each one. So it almost looks like a double die, right? But it's not. And if it's really, really strong, someone might pay $5 for it. You know, if it's really strong. Numismatically, it might have zero value, right? Because they put, what you'll learn if you're doing this for long enough is that these people who talk about the errors, a lot of them also discuss the value of those errors, right? Like copper coins. If you go to copper coins, and it'll say depending on the condition, it'll say, and most of them in like average good condition are only worth $1, maybe even 50 cents. You know, so here you are, can't even sell it because it costs $1.25 to ship. So it's really anything under $5 really has no value. I'm just saying, like with an online sales. Yeah, I see that under the 15 on top of the 15. It could be a die clash from the shield, but it doesn't really matter because it's so weak. I'll point it to you right above under the 15 and above the 20, excuse me. There's a little line, and that could be the line from the. But it doesn't matter. It's so weak. It's worthless. And this is what I'm saying. So I'm not putting them to the side anymore. I prefer just to hold on to the copper. You know what I mean? If it's worth a quarter, you might as well just hold it. And it's a copper penny. You might as well just hold on to it. 2000. We're looking for the wide AM. No wide AM. The wide AMs are worth like $10, $20, depending on condition. But if I hunted them. Where's the ones that I found? I'll show you a wide AM. I got it here. I have to do videos on these. I did some purchases recently. Here goes a white. This is a 2000. Yeah, here's a 2000. 2000. And that's a wide AM. Now, in this condition, which is this might even be low AU, believe it or not. It has those dark spots. You might even be able to clean that up a little bit. The fingerprint, believe it or not, fingerprints very, very, sometimes they don't even, I've seen MS-66s with fingerprints on them, so I don't even know if that even matters. That's BS. That's just people talking out their behinds. I mean, it distracts you from the overall beauty, but it doesn't. I've seen it on high graded coins. So, but as you can see, the A and the M, there's a little space in between them, and that's the wide AM. A little bit of a space. But in auction, I mean, right now the economy is really, really screwed up. Hopefully, it gets better now that we have new leadership. If I pick these up for $2 shipped, which is like, forget it. I wouldn't say that one to me is like a $10, $20. But you can hunt for and those are the types of coins I really want to show on the channel, you know. But like I said, there's just, you know, so much fewer. Let me look at this under the loop. No, just a nice old penny. The letters, you can see how they sometimes, I guess for whatever reasons, a lot of these 60 pennies, they have the motto is like touching the rim. I don't know why that's the case. And then the more worn it gets, you'll start seeing the rim bleed into the letters. But '98. See how close the A and M is together? Yeah, that's a close AM. So now what I'll keep doing is when I make the short videos, like today, I'm I only make 3 or 4 short videos because, there's really nothing to talk about. No white AM. But I will practice the technique, right? So this is part of the whole um, content creator experience. And I try to talk about it on the channel because, I always found it interesting. And I know at least one of my members finds it interesting. Otis, he likes when I talk about the behind the scenes stuff. So, um, a lot of 99s. So whatever short videos I have, like I said, I got 3. I could do some on the copper pennies, and I will continue practicing that moving, grabbing the whole group of videos and moving them over at the same time. Even that, it's not, it's not. There's a it's a little complicated because it changes the format around once you do that. And when you click on it, you have to click on each one individually, and it doesn't erase them from the list. So there's a lot of when you're using a computer in a studio and all that stuff, um, and you're learning. Like I'm learning this on my own. This is stuff that in all the years of trying to learn how to become a content creator, I never learned it. I never learned any of this stuff online. Like the thousands and thousands of videos I've searched through. This is I have to learn it on my own, and I have to remember something that I did months and months ago as a to help. Anyway, it's just crazy, man. That's all. You're kind of on your own when it comes to entrepreneurship. Yeah, it's a nice misaligned die. You can see the rim over rim. The working die over the planchet rim. Oh, we got a 59. I hold on to all the 59s. I put them in a little bag. It's the first year that a Lincoln Memorial was made, 1959. See, now we got 5. We have 5 short videos on the side. And if I do the copper pennies, it's 6. So I used to do, when I first started the channel, I was doing like 10 to 15 shorts a day. I mean, it's not that I lost the enthusiasm to do, like let's look at, oh, well, this one's pretty cool. No flare G. Let's look at the next one. Just, these average pennies, I just lost the enthusiasm to do short videos on a a common cent. Even the one we just looked at, to me, it's not common. I mean, it has no value, but at least it has a cool factor on it. Like if you don't know what that's called, right? So what it looks like happened is it looks like it had multiple die dents, and a die dent is a mint error. It happens at the mint. They look like little football or diamond shapes on the rim. But sometimes when it happens to a zinc cent, any of those little hit marks will open up and become zinc blisters. Which, believe it or not, they didn't become zinc blisters. I thought they did because they're so dark, but they're not blisters. They're just dents. They moved around the clad. So, I mean, at least that's cool. It's something to talk about, you know. But like I said, most of these are not. So, I don't know. Maybe once a week or once a month or every few weeks, I'll do the those mass short videos. But I think I have to be really prepared. I have to have like extra time, have like nowhere to go that day. You know what I mean? Because it really, really does. No white AM. It really does take up extra time, and I'm going to be practicing this new way of moving stuff around. So the whole thing is just going to be something I'm going to have to be prepared for. The L is weak. 74. Huh. Another one of those weird dye dents. This one is seeing copper though. It looks so much cooler because look how it moves around the metal. That's cool. I don't even know if that's a cut or not. I'll put this with the other one just as a comparison between the zinc when you get a dye dent or something hits the rim. The difference between the how it appears between the zinc and the copper. And are these last two pennies both copper? Oh, that's a beautiful 72. $60D. Oh, what a die chip. Look at this. Is this going to be last coin mojo? Let me take off my my finger gloves now. I'm going to touch the mouse. Let's see what we got here. 1960D. I already got the mintage page up, so let's look at the mintage page. Oh wow. 1.5 billion. And they both come, I'll show you. They both come in a small and a large date variety, according to Wikipedia. And then I'll show you the what's that called? The placemat. See, it says something a little different on the placemat. This is what you have to be careful of. So here, anyway. 1960D, small and large date. It's funny because there's a billion more than the Philadelphia, right? Small, large date varieties. There's a billion more, but there's something about the Denver to me that's like more appealing than, you know, because it has a mint mark, I guess. And if we go to the here, the mint, it shows the 1960 small and large date, but then it shows DD, which means double die. So, but I guess that if you find, I guess that means other. It's so it's okay. So this is my understanding. Okay, if you're still here after almost a half hour, then so this is my understanding how it goes. The 1960 Denver and Philadelphia both come in small and large date. But if you have a double die on the 1960 Denver, which this is, then it would be a key variety. So let me stop it. Stop the video. I'm going to look at this under the loop. I see the die chip there, but give me a second. Okay, I'm back. So, you know, a lot of times I talk about true double dies. And when I say true double dies, I mean the ones that are that you can see very obvious separation. Those are the most valuable ones. And some professionals do use that language and others do not differentiate between the two. But in the case of most double dies are not true double dies, meaning that they're double dyes that are identified, that you need to see like under a microscope, or you have to look very closely at them, and then you have to research it. Like, you don't have to, if you saw two totally complete letters next side by side, you don't have to research that. Maybe, you could just send it in, and they're going to say, oh, this is what, like, you don't have to figure nothing out. You have a very valuable coin. But when you have to look super duper close, and you're like, oh, and when you got to put out a microscope to find something, you're talking about, and there's a chance that someone's going to disagree with you, right? Because you're talking about, it could be damage for all you know. Anyway, that's my spiel on that. But with that said, here goes a double die, right? And as you can see, the ANACS is using the FS grading, not grading, but error guide. And this one is the FS 101 and 501. But if you look at it, you would have had to, wherever the error is, it's with the naked eye, it's not obvious. You would have to pull out a microscope to find it. And this person did pull out the microscope, and they sent it in. So, I mean, what does that mean? That means this might have a microscopic double die also. What's not microscopic are two things that we have going on here. And one is that extraordinarily awesome die chip. The other is the movement on the, does that help or hurt? It hurts. Yeah, I like the contrast. Is the movement on the mint mark. Now, the mint mark is either a repunch mint mark, but I don't think it's a repunch mint mark. I think this is a damaged mint mark. So this is not post-mint damage on the mint mark. This is a mint mark on the working die that has been damaged. Now, does that make it? So I think the mint mark might be a double die, not a repunch mint mark. That's what I'm saying. Now, could it be a repunch mint mark? It might. So this is a really, really nice. And the T, looks like it's has extra thickness on the top. The T right there, the last T. And you can see it's even moved around to the point where, so that might be a double, this might be a double die. You see, this is closer than I can see with my naked eye, how we're looking at it now. So if there is something there, we might be able to see it. But that picture on eBay, I couldn't see anything. How about the eyeball? Anything interesting going on there? You always got to check out the eyes. Like, you see that extra line there on the bottom of the eyelid above the cheek? Is that a double die? I don't think so. But, these are things you have to take account for. But that die chip and that mint mark there are beauties. So the big question becomes, is this worth money? Like, if I was to put this on eBay as a, what's the word I'm looking for? An extreme die chip and a, I don't know, a repunch mint mark. The only reason I would put this as a repunch mint mark, unless I could find this through research, would be because most people won't understand what I mean by a double die mint mark. And then if I want to put extra thick, I could put all types of stuff for this penny. What would it be worth? Well, and of course so that would make it a key variety. That's number one. I'm going to say, I mean, the date and the mint mark combo right there are so cool looking. I'm going to say $10. Somebody out there, I think, would be willing to pay $10 for this. That die chip is really, really sick. And that mint mark is super cool looking. And that's what people want. See, this is the thing a lot of people don't understand. If you don't know about sales, I probably know, not even probably, I know more about sales than I do um, coin errors. I mean, they're starting, my knowledge of coin errors is starting to move up, catch up with my knowledge of other things because I'm really learning about coin errors. But people buy things that they think are cool. So there's this guy who made, I'm just going to talk a little bit. There's a guy who did a video on, who knows a lot about um, dollar bill um, values. Like the guy, I don't know if he's an expert or whatever the case may be, but he put a lot of time and he's knowledgeable about, and and he talks about what's valuable, right? And he goes, oh, you see, and he goes to that website that I used, and it says the cool factor, right, for your dollar serial number. And he's like, but that has no value, even though it has a cool factor of 97. And see, this guy doesn't understand human psychology. It doesn't matter what you say the value is. It matters that someone thinks it's cool. And that's it. If someone thinks a coin is cool looking, they're going to pay money for it. Even though numismatically it has no value. Even though copper coin says it's worth 50 cents, someone might pay $10 for it because it looks cooler than other ones that maybe no one will pay $10 for. But there's one, like for example, this die chip is way cooler than most other die chips. Look, it's layered. With a really good clear picture, you're gonna see how bulky and bulgy it is. It's just cool looking. And the same thing with the mint mark. That might not be a repunched mint mark. It might not even, that could be a deteriorated die. But it looks so cool. So this penny might have no value outside of its copper of 3.5 cents. But someone's gonna pay $10 for it because it's cooler than other die chip and other deteriorated mint marks. So that's what you have to understand. So when you hear, and I'm using air quotes here, experts talk about values, well, that's what they're saying, but that doesn't mean that's what it's selling for in real life. They don't know anything about reality. And the reality is people pay for coolness. Period, point blank and simple. A good example is that are those dye blisters. I mean, it's post mint damage, but if you find one that's really cool, someone's going to pay $2 or $3 for it, even though it has no numismatic value. And that's it. Same thing with misaligned dyes. Misaligned dyes don't have any value till they hit. I believe it's 15% misaligned or off centered or whatever you want to call it. I have one here that's 20. I just bought one recently that's 20. I think it's 30% misaligned. Where's it at? Here it goes. This is 30% off centered, and so this is 15% more than what's considered valuable. So this is a valuable coin. How? Look, it's a 1998. If that was a wide AM, it would. So again, now numismatically, if this was a wide AM, would that make it numismatic? I just told you I bought a wide AM for $2. So how much more value is it going to add to this 30% misaligned off centered coin? It should be nothing, right? But the cool factor of having the rarity of that. Oh, look at this. You could even see I didn't realize this, but you could even see not only is it off centered, but you can see the rims. Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, snap. It has a railroad rim. So not only is it off center, it's also a partial collar. That's a railroad rim. Now I have to write that down on this, because the only reason I even noticed that is because I took I have to put also railroad rim. So that adds to the coolness of this coin. So let's put it like this, right? You got one person is selling his for $40, right? And it doesn't have the railroad rim. And another person is selling the same 30%, same condition and everything, right? Same year, everything. But this person says, oh, this one has, in addition, has a railroad rim. Now, let's say they're both worth $40. Which one are you going to buy first? You're going to buy the one with the extra error on it, because it's just cooler, man. I mean, first of all, it's hard to find railroad rims. Railroad rims are expensive by themselves without even being off centered. If you find a penny that has a railroad rim, which this has, right, which is also called, it's a partial collar, that has its value inside. I think that's like $10 by itself, $10, $15, maybe even more, depending on how much of the edge, the rim, it encompasses. Sometimes you only see it for a very small part, and other times it's 3/4 of the coin. Anyway, so I went off there a little bit because I always like to tell people, my listeners, to be careful when listening to so-called experts, um, because sometimes a lot of these people who have forums and um, websites, they might even be certified numismatists, um, but they don't. But they're pigeonholed. They're so focused on the numbers that they don't really know what's going on in the real world. And the real world is what people are paying money for. So if you just listen to them, you're gonna lose out, especially if you want to sell things. If you want to make money, you need to know what people are interested in. You have to have your finger on the pulse. And a lot of these eggheads out there, they don't have their finger on the pulse of anything. They just know numbers and letters, and they're very smart, but they don't know how to make a dollar. You know what I mean? Anyway, so that's my 2 cents, my rambling. See, I wrote also has railroad rim, because I would want to add that information on this if I was to sell it. All right, please click like and subscribe. God bless. And now it's time for me to make my short videos on the coins that I put to the side. And I'm gonna try practicing bulk. I'm gonna call it bulk uploading them. And I'll see you on the next one.